गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल। आप सभी का स्वागत है शौर्य भारत डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म शौर्य भारत यूट्यूब चैनल पर। एंड माय रिक्वेस्ट इज प्लीज लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब दिस चैनल एंड ऑल्सो डाउनलोड शौर्य भारत ऐप फ्रॉम प्ले स्टोर एंड शेयर विथ योर फ्रेंड्स। So dear students, our topic today is farming techniques and also life of a farmer. कौन कौन आ चुके हैं? अश्विनी सिंह भदौरिया, खंबा खड़ी सर, जय मेवाड़। अश्विनी सिंह क्या लिखना चाह रहे थे? गुड इवनिंग चंद्रभान, आयुष, आदि, गौरव। यस आदि, वेरी गुड इवनिंग। और कौन कौन आ चुके हैं? एक बार और जल्दी जल्दी आ जाइए। कल तो बहुत कम थे, आज कितने होते हैं देखें, फिर मैं क्वेश्चन आंसर पूछूं या नहीं पूछूं। नवनीत सिंह, जय हिंद। सर सॉरी बाय मिस्टेक, नो प्रॉब्लम अश्विनी सिंह, दैट इज क्लियर, नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल, राइट, इट्स ओके। माही, okay, Simarpreet, you know that खम्मा घनी, right? आदि सर पूछो what पहले थोड़ा सा चैप्टर कर लें। Okay, Chandravan, ask the question, I will ask, right? First, do complete our syllabus part, then we will start questioning, right? Okay. Will sure. Okay, Simarpreet, will sure ask question. So, move to this topic, life of a farmer's. A farmer's lifestyle is a busy and hectic one in India. In our rural जो सोसाइटी है हमारी, उसमें हम देखते हैं कि इंडिया, मैक्सिमम इंडिया कहाँ रहता है? रूरल सोसाइटी में। और वहाँ पर जो फार्मर्स हैं उनकी लाइफ स्टाइल बहुत बिजी रहती है और हेक्टिक रहती है होल डे, क्योंकि वह स्ट्रगल करते हैं अर्ली मॉर्निंग से लेकर इवनिंग तक। लॉट ऑफ टास्क्स एंड वर्क आर डन, लॉट ऑफ टास्क एंड वर्क आर डन फ्रॉम मॉर्निंग टू इवनिंग, बिजी एंड lot of works are done from and must be completed every day. ये every day की task है to achieve their ultimate goal, कि उन्हें क्या actually ultimate goal क्या होना चाहिए। because agriculture वह है जो टाइम पे होना बहुत कुछ मांगता है, right? वो टाइम, सब कुछ टाइम पे होना चाहिए, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। यस अश्विनी सिंह, इन राजस्थान वी सेज प्रणाम टू करी खंबा। ओके, गणी खम्मा, दिस नॉट करी खंबा, राइट अश्विनी सिंह, गणी खम्मा, खम्मा घनी। नेक्स्ट पीपल सेज खंबा गणी। ओके, यस यस, दैट आई नो वेरी वेल। सो गणी खम्मा, हुकुम ऐसा बोला जाता है, राइट? माही, वेरी गुड इवनिंग, विल आस्क क्वेश्चन श्योर। ओके फाइन। सो फार्मर्स लाइफस्टाइल इज अ बिजी एंड हेक्टिक वन, अ लॉट ऑफ टास्क एंड वर्क आर डन एंड मस्ट बी कंप्लीटेड एवरी डे टू अचीव देयर अल्टीमेट गोल। व्हाट इज फार्मिंग? फार्मिंग इज ग्रोइंग क्रॉप्स और कीपिंग एनिमल्स by people for food and for raw materials. That is known as farming. Farming is growing crops or keeping animals by people for food and raw materials. Farming is a part of agriculture. When we say mixed farming, it is agriculture as well as rearing of animals, right? Okay, fine. Very good evening, Tejal Gorde, Prajwal Gorde, right? I think the name is Prajwal Gorde. Good. So, farming is a part of agriculture. A lot of a day in the life on the farm starts very early, and farming is growing crops or keeping animals by people for food and raw materials. So, a day in the life of a farmer starts on the farms very early. Next, a farm in India. कैसी होती है farming India में? That is very important. Intensive subsistence agriculture. Intensive subsistence agriculture is practiced on small farms in developing countries like India that have large populations. And also developing, not developed, not fully developed yet, right? Small farms in developing countries like India that have large populations. And also a typical Indian farmer has a farmland of about very small, that farmland 1.5 hectares. Only 1.5 hectares. A typical Indian farmer has a farmland that is only 1.5 hectares, right? Yes, please, you can write Niti, no problem at all. Okay, Ashwini saying good. 9, only 9 student and 11 likes, sir, it is too much. Good. Yes, India is a developing country, right, Chandraman, exact. Niti, take screenshot of photos please and attend class. After the class you can easily do it. Yes, that is good suggestion from Ashwini Singh. Niti, you can do that. So, a typical Indian farmer has a farmland of what? Up to 1.5 hectares only. And our agriculture system is known as intensive subsistence agriculture. Intensive subsistence agriculture. Intensive subsistence agriculture. Move to the next slide. So, move to the next slide. Okay. Farmers buy high yielding seeds from the market to grow at least 2 crops a year. At least 2 crops in a year. So, farmers buy high yielding seeds from the market to grow at least 2 crops in a year, which are usually food crops. क्योंकि food crops बहुत important है उस farmer के लिए, like rice, wheat and pulses. Fine. And farmers practice traditional methods for agricultural operations. Yet traditional methods are very popular in Indian agricultural system. So, in India, farmers practice traditional methods for agricultural operations. Arshay sir, please repeat. In my phone your video was paused. Ashwini Singh, yes sir, yes sir. What happened? Chandravan, Ashwini Singh, Arshay now, Arshay Sharma, okay. Ashwini Singh, okay. Video is, now it is clear, I think. No problem in the video. Reply okay or yes. अभी तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं आ रही. Video is continuing. Messages. Okay, fine. Right. Arshay, okay, fine. No problem at all. No problem at all. Move to the next slide. So, very simple points related with agriculture operations. For high yielding crops, there is a necessity of high yielding seeds, and that farmer can buy from agriculture market or cooperative market, right? Next, a farm in India. Farmers take advice of elders as well as government agricultural officers regarding farming practices. Elders as well as government agricultural officers regarding farming practices or agricultural operations, so that क्या वो easily उसको process कर सके. उसमें जो hurdles आते हैं, जो important instructions है, वह उसको follow कर लेता है, वो उसको पहले पता चल जाते हैं, इसलिए वह elder से suggestions लेते हैं, या फिर government officer होते हैं agriculture के, उनसे suggestions ले लेते हैं. So that is important. Okay, fine. Neeti, no problem. Okay, Chandravan, Ashwini Singh, Abhivardhan, Arshay, good. Intensive farming practices are easy to use as the size of the farms are small. As we have already discussed, only 1.5 hectares farmlands. So, size of the farms are small and labor is easily available. Labor is easily available. That is very important. In India, labor is very easily available. In rural areas, the labor is easily available for agricultural operations. For agricultural operations, right? Shakib Siddiqui, very good evening. Warm welcome. So, intensive farming practices are easy to use because the size of the farms are small and also labor is available, right? Then the new farming practices include using tractors for ploughing the fields, which they can either purchase or also take on rent. Tractors, either they can purchase or also take on rent. So this one is, I think you can easily see the tractor operations in agriculture fields, doing operations, right, in agriculture field or agricultural operations. Rajneesh Kumar, very good evening. Welcome. So the new farming practices include use of tractors, right, for ploughing the fields, which they can either purchase or take on rent. The main source of irrigation, water is very important, is a tube well near the field. Main source of irrigation is a tube well near the field, so that water is available for crops. Family members of the farmer help him in carrying out farming activities. Family member also supports for carrying out farming activities. Family members of that particular farmer also supports or help him in various ways to carrying out farming activities, right. So, this is how a farmer functions in a farm in India. So, new approaches is use of tractors and other various instruments and machines for harvesting, not only for ploughing, also for harvesting the crops, right. The crops which are grown in rainy season are kharif crops. Yes, we will discuss. For example, wheat, soybean, okay. It is not rainy season, we can say kharif crops, rabi crops and zaid, 3 types of crops. We will discuss, Arshay. Good. The crops which are grown in rainy seasons are kharif crops. No. Examples are wheat, it's not correct. Arshay, this is not correct. Wheat and these are rabi crops, soybean, wheat, barley, mustard. From where you have brought this statement? Kharif crops are like you can see the moong, right, oil seeds, tilhan, sesame. So, these are kharif crops. Cotton, it is not wheat and all these. Yes, the crops which are grown in winter are called rabi crops, exactly. अभिवर्धन सिंह का भी रॉन्ग था, ये कहां से स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं भाई, रॉन्ग है ये. Now it is clear, Arshay. The crops which are grown in winter are called rabi crops and the examples of wheat rabi crops hai. How come it is kharif? Arshay, please recheck again your statement. So, family members of the farmer help him in carrying out farming activities, right. Some farmers also rear livestock, that is cattle, such as cattle and hens, and sell milk and eggs. Some farmers also rear livestock such as cattle and hens, right. And sell milk and eggs produced by these animals at the nearest available cooperative stores. That is very important, जो कि इंडिया के रूरल एरियाज में आजकल कई जगह देखने को मिल जाता है. These cooperative stores, dairy cooperative stores, right. फिर जो बूथ बनाए जाते हैं जहां से जो मिल्क है, मिल्क पैकेट्स दिए जाते हैं. ओके. Yes, of course. Prajwal, Gorde, Kharif crop, Arshay, is it right? Please, examples also, you correct the examples, right? Ashwini Singh, okay, fine. The agricultural cooperative society along with banks, very important point. The agricultural cooperative societies along with banks serves in lending funds to the farmers, लोन दिया जाता है. क्या दिया जाता है? लोन, एग्रीकल्चरल लोन टू द फार्मर्स टू बाय HYV, high yielding variety of seeds, and farming implements also, and farming implements also. फार्मिंग इम्प्लीमेंट्स और जो सीड्स है मार्केट में वह भी काफ़ी कॉस्टली आते हैं. ये HYV सीड्स जो होते हैं, हाई यील्डिंग वेराइटी सीड्स, तो इनके लिए जो एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज होती है वह लोन देती है फार्मर्स को. किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड वह बनाया गया है गवर्नमेंट के से. तो सो एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी अलॉन्ग विथ बैंक्स, एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स serves in lending funds to the farmer. For what? For their purchasing of high yielding variety seeds as well as agricultural implements, right? Then the farmers in India have to sell the produce themselves. That is very iron in India. The farmers in India have to sell the produce themselves, since there is a shortage of storage facilities or godowns or warehouses. They sometimes have to sell their produce at very low price due to the lack of storage or proper storage of farm produce. Farmers have to sell their produce at low price or even very low price. For that, government now planned MSP, minimum supporting price. MSP, value of each and every crops. That is very essential need of farmer, right? Yes, mixed farming, that exact, Arshad, that is exact. Mixed farming, when farmer grows crops as well as rear animals in their large fields, is called mixed farming. Yes, Ashwini Singh, Amul is a large scale industry of milk product, exactly, cooperative dairy federation, exactly, and that of headquarter of Amul is located in Gujarat, known as Anand, right? So that is all about how the farmer in India sell their produce, farm produce. Next slide. Now, type of farming. Farming depends upon the geographical conditions, first point. Next, demand of produce, second point, and also labor, third point, and level of technology, that is fourth point. So farming depends upon the various factors. First, geographical location or conditions, geographical conditions, topography as well as climate, both. Demand of produce, कितना डिमांड है, wheat का डिमांड है या राइस का डिमांड है, it depends upon the demands of the produce. Labor, and also labor is needed for the agricultural operations in agriculture fields, and level of technology, whether is advanced technology is there or not, or only traditional methods there, right? So there are two types of farming. First one, subsistence farming, and another one is commercial farming. Subsistence farming and commercial farming. Yes, Amul factory, Gujarat, Amul Cooperative Dairy Federation, and you know the revolution in the milk production is known as white revolution. Also note down. Ashay Ashwini, yes, when farmer meet only basic survival need is subsistence farming, exactly. Subsistence, कुछ आधार होना चाहिए फार्मर की लाइफ को, उसको डे टू डे को कैसे वह उसमें स्ट्रगल करके निकले, तो उसके लिए जो फार्मिंग है नॉर्मल फार्मिंग, दैट इज सब्सिस्टेंस फार्मिंग. एग्जैक्टली आरशे, वेरी गुड. व्हेन फार्मर्स मीट ओनली बेसिक सर्वाइवल नीड्स, that is known as subsistence farming. So we'll see, farmers use simple tools such as spades and plows and manual labor to cultivate a small plot of land. Very simple tools. Farmers use simple tools such as spades and plows and manual labor to cultivate a small plot of land. Yes, white revolution in the field of milk production. Yes, Chandravan, exact. Time pass, very good evening. वाह, क्या आईडी बनाई है आपने. टाइम पास है तो लाइक तो कर दीजिए क्लास को. Farmers use simple tools such as spades and plows and manual labor to cultivate a small plot of land. No advanced machines or technology, right? It is practiced in areas having fertile soil, first, very important condition, fertile soil, and it is more common in thickly populated areas. It is more common in thickly populated areas in monsoon regions of South, Southeast and East Asia. These are the thickly populated regions in Asian continent or in Asia continent. When crops are grown in surplus amount to sell in the market for profit is called commercial farming, exactly. And commercial, in the case of commercial farming, the nature of seeds also changed, and variety of seeds and the crops are not those cereal crops, right? Those crops are cash crops for commercial farming. So exactly, Arshay, when crops are grown in surplus amount to sell in the market for profit, this is the commercial farming. Excuse me. Sorry. It is practiced in areas having fertile soil, first. It is more common in the thickly populated regions or areas like in monsoon regions of South, Southeast and East Asia, right? Intensive subsistence agriculture. It is practiced in the tropical and subtropical areas of West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh. In tropical first and subtropical areas like West Bengal and AP, Andhra Pradesh, where rice is the main crop, staple food. Rice is the main crop grown through intensive subsistence farming in addition to wheat, maize, pulses and also oil seeds. Right? Yes, yes, Prajwal. 5 million liters milk ready daily in Amul factory, Gujarat, exactly. हाँ, टाइम पास कोई शेयर नहीं करते हैं तो आप शेयर कर दीजिए इफ इट इज पॉसिबल फॉर योर लेवल. अगर ये आपके स्तर पर संभव है तो शेयर कीजिए. थैंक्स फॉर दिस टाइप ऑफ कमेंट. प्लीज शेयर करें क्लास को एज मच एज यू कैन. राइस इज द मेन क्रॉप ग्रोन थ्रू इंटेंसिव फार्मिंग इन एडिशन टू wheat, maize, pulses and oil seeds. this type of cultivation produces very little. This type of cultivation produces very little and is mainly to fulfill farmers' personal needs or personal needs. For farmers' personal needs, that is subsistence farming, right? So move to the next slide. Next one is commercial farming. What do we mean by commercial farming? It involves activities on a larger scale first, larger scale, very larger scale, and yield a much larger produce or farm produce. So spectrum is broad here for agriculture operations, and it involves activities on a larger scale and also yield a much larger farm produce. It is where minimal manual labor is involved, very minimum manual labor is involved, and machines do most of the work, where machines or technology or advanced technology is used for the rest of the work in agriculture fields. So it is where minimal manual labor is involved and machines do most of the work in agriculture fields. That is commercial farming. Also, developed nation like USA, Britain, France, Russia. So developed nation mostly perform this type of farming extensively, and their farmlands are very large, not limited to 1.5 hectares, it's very small, like developing countries in India. Okay, so developed nation mostly perform this type of farming extensively. Commercial grain farming. It is the cultivation of crops for commercial purposes, where crops are grown for sale in the market, and this is surplus crops, very large production of farm produce, right? It is practiced in sparsely populated areas of the temperate grasslands of North America, Europe, and also in some parts of Asia. It is practiced in the sparsely populated areas. Sparsely, that is low populated areas of the temperate grasslands, and these temperate grasslands are in North America, Europe, very important continent, and also in some parts of Asia. The main crops grown are wheat and maize. As we know, USA is the sole power in the production of maize and soya bean both, right? So the main crops grown here are wheat and also soya bean. यूएसए में इतना मेज प्रोडक्शन होता है कि वहां जो पिग्स है उनके लिए भी मेज ही दिया जाता है. सो लार्जर प्रोडक्शन और लार्जर प्रोड्यूस ऑफ दिस मेज एंड wheat is the country that is USA, United States of America. So this is known as commercial grain farming, right? Now you can see the mixed farming here. Mixed farming. In the case of mixed farming, this part show the agriculture field and this part rearing of animals, cattle, where many sheep and goats are there. So mixed farming, right? It is where the land is used for growing food as fodder crops and also rearing livestock. Where the land is used for growing food, fodder crops and also for rearing livestock or cattle. This kind of farming is common in Europe, especially parts of eastern USA, all in developed countries. Europe, then parts of eastern USA, also some Latin American countries like Argentina, Southeast Australia, where the very famous, world famous sheep in Australia known as Mourinho sheep, which have maximum wool and a double coat of wool over the body of this particular sheep known as Mourinho sheep in Australia. So Southeast Australia, New Zealand and also some parts of South Africa. So all are very developed countries where mixed farming is easily possible. This kind of farming common in Europe, parts of eastern USA, Argentina, Latin American country, right, Southeast Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. Farmers cultivate food crops like rice, wheat and fodder crops like barley and grass. So this one is the mixed farming, barley and grass, fodder crops for cattle and also food crops like rice and wheat for the selling in market, right? Fine. Okay. So you can see the mixed farming. This is the boundary. Here the agriculture field and this one is the rearing or fodder crops for many livestock. Okay. Is it clear? I think very simple. Mixed farming, commercial farming, subsistence farming, simple farming. रवि शंकर सियाक कुड़ी गुरुजी निवन प्रणाम आशीर्वाद रवि इसको शेयर करो क्लास को वेरी लेस पर्सन है इसको शेयर कर रहे हैं बहुत कम लोग लाइक करें और शेयर करें रवि इसको जितना हो सके राइट ओके so this one is the mixed farming. Now move to the next slide. Another one is the plantation. What is plantation? Plantation is a large farm. Plantation is a large farm which is specialized on farming one type of crop. One type of crop. Large farm. Two important keywords. Plantation is a large farm which is specialized on farming one type of crop. Plantation grow cash crops such as mostly for export purposes and less for local use. Crops grown on plantations include cash crops which are as follows: banana, sugarcane, coffee, tea, cotton and tobacco. So these are the cash crops for commercial purposes, right, or also known as plantations. Okay Ravi, good, thank you so much. Plantation, again please focus here. Plantation is a large farm first which is specialized on farming one type of crop. Either if you see the in Assam and in Tamil Nadu and some parts of Dharamshala and Himachal Pradesh, one type of crop, that is tea crops, right. You can see in the also in some Tamil Nadu or a part of Karnataka, where in Brazil coffee is the main one type of crop. Sugarcane, banana, cotton also and tobacco also. So these all are cash crops. All these known as cash crops. Some more examples of primitive subsistence agriculture. Not only simple subsistence, but here we relate or correlate it with primitive subsistence agriculture, and the best one is shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation. Shift हो जाना. Tribes जो हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न ट्राइब्स झूम कल्टीवेशन भी बोलते हैं इसको. This cultivation is also known as झूम cultivation or shifting cultivation or slash and burn cultivation or slash and burn agriculture system, right? So we'll discuss tomorrow and also discuss some questions. Thank you so much for today's class. Please like and subscribe this Shaurya Bharat YouTube channel and also download Shaurya Bharat app from Play Store. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.